What's up, guys? This is Aubrey.
And I'm Brandi.
And you're watching
Perez
TV.
For me, honestly, it's just been like tough dating in LA. It's been really, really hard. And I've been single for 7 years. And I assumed that I was probably doing something wrong.
She didn't realize how much.
Yes, now I know. Now I know why I'm single. I might need round two for sure, but definitely helped. And it was fun. And it was fun. It was sad. It was happy. I laughed. I cried. I yelled. I screamed.
Yeah, I think Brandi and I probably did the most of that on the show. And I agree with her. It's very difficult dating, and with all of the other factors of the lifestyle and jobs that we've taken on in life. And there is a point where you start to ask yourself, what am I doing wrong, or why do the same mistakes keep happening with the men that I'm choosing? And you have to ask yourself questions, and then you have to take it out onto the field, which we did. We were inside the house doing therapy every day together, which is interesting when you have a group of celebrities that come from different walks of life, because everyone has a different journey of how they got there, and different issues that happened in their relationships that got them there. But there are so many similarities as well. So we really were able to create this family.
I mean, I think for me, the hardest thing about dating is once I was on a reality TV show and people saw this crazy side of me and not, a well-rounded version of me. And people are like, oh, that crazy chick from TV, I'm not going to date her. So I think just showing people that I'm not always that person. Yes, that's part of me. But just showing them that I'm normal, just like every other girl. I want to be, in a relationship, but it's difficult.
For me, I think that, I've spent so much of my life making music and being in the music industry, and there are all kinds of things that happen when you're 17 years old and the first person that you work for is Diddy. So, it was it's the most difficult person to work for in the industry, but it also was, so disciplined in so many ways that it taught me a lot about who I was, who I wasn't. And then, I learned a lot of bad lessons and some good. And I think that spending so much time and coming up in that environment really shaped a lot of what I understood men and the dynamic between men and women to be.
I mean, I think that when we put ourselves out there to be judged, that's one thing. But when we go deep and we go into therapy, it's so personal. It was really hard for me to let my walls down and let people in and make friendships and maybe kind of fall for someone again. And it was really out of my comfort zone for sure.
And I think, with making the band, it was all about music. I didn't have to dive deep into my relationship on camera, like things that Brandi's been through. But I did marriage boot camp in my last relationship, and that was hell on earth. So, I was a little nervous, but I wasn't coming into the show in a relationship. I was on my own and single and trying to once again find out how to be a better woman and how to be how to attract the right type of man. So, I in the house, obviously I met Polly, and that's where that relationship started.
It's hard. It was hard actually just living in a house. This is probably the most intense relationships I've had in 7 years with all of the cast members, because we were put in a house together 24/7, and I don't let people in my life like that. When I have the kids, no one's around me. So it was very intense very quickly. And so we made very quick friendships, and, sparks did fly in the house. I fell in love with all the boys a little bit just because it was so nice to see that guys could be cool and they're not all douchebags. Callum and we definitely had chemistry. It was nice to know that I could have butterflies again. We have our struggles. He lives in the UK, and there's, we have demons we're both working on still, and it's, how can I be with someone that lives in the UK? But at the end of the day, it was just nice to know that I could feel the way I felt again about somebody.
For Polly and I, we waited about 5 months before we started connecting our lives. and the people in our lives. And it's really difficult when you build a relationship on a reality TV show, because the second the cameras go off, the first question you have is this person, where are they putting it on for the television? Are they trying to get some type of storyline or PR publicity? Obviously, none of us need that. We all have our own things going on with this show, or with our lives. But you have to wonder that. It just is what it is when you meet somebody with cameras in front of you. And then you go through all the stages of like developing into a relationship. Polly lives in Vegas. I live in LA. And so it's slightly long distance. And we had to really fight for what we have now.
Dated an Uber driver?
Well, I did. I think that,
I can't.
I
Uber
know.
drivers are
She
people.
can't. She
Uber
can't.
drivers are people too.
Right. So what we learned through Famously Single, really in therapy, is to maybe go outside of our comfort zone and give people a chance that we wouldn't normally give a chance to. And that's what I did. And it was fun. It's over.
I'd say if there's anyone that I've worked with on prior shows that could benefit from Dr. Darcy, it would be Donald Trump.
You know what?
I knew you'd like that one.
I concur.
I think he could have a lesson in understanding himself and women a little better.
Yeah. Oh, I have not that much younger, but I think for me when I date, if the guy doesn't accept the fact that I'm a package deal, that I have 2 children, not that he's meeting them, but that they're there and they will always be the most important part of my life, then don't waste my time. And I have wasted time on someone in the past, so no point.
I would say to trust your instincts. Everyone sees the red flags when they start dating someone, and there are many factors that can cloud them, like great sex and, a bunch of other things. But you usually know in your gut if you're happy. A lot of times we feel like you have to go through a lot of turmoil to get to greatness, and that's not the way that it has to be. You can actually just be happy with someone you love, and you can trust them, and you could be treated right and have respect and communication and loyalty in a relationship. And I think a lot of people are so used to seeing those things not existing that they become less able to want to recognize that it's time to move on and find what's right. And you start to make a lot of excuses. So I would say if I could tell the young me anything, and any young girl out there that is dating, trust your instincts. When you see red flags, trust them. They usually get worse.